距感。
Chinese martial arts always concern the most important thing is called the sense of distance. Because when you fight, your safety is very important. The distance you get it right, you can keep yourself safe, at the same time keep your enemy in dangerous position. So that's the reason called the sense of distance. For example, Southern style specialize in the hands fighting. So they like to keep a short range. But the long fist style specialize in a long range fighting. They like to keep a long distance. So that becomes very important part of the factor of winning. If you know how to keep the right distance, you can express your most expertise of the technique. So because the reason they become sense of distance. So sense of distance, you have to have this concept and this mind and through the training, by feeling. Because this one you cannot look and then move it. For example, if I face Mike, see, I move forward, he should have the sense right away. If you don't have the sense, my hand already reach him. So once I move, he already moved backwards, yeah. So he moved forward right away, I can see right away, I keep a good distance. So from here, once you get used to it, then you can set up the strategies. For example, you can see, if you step forward, I can set up a strategy. I can go half step instead of a whole step. If you get a whole step, now I cannot get him, he cannot get me. That means both sides, you never get each other. Once you have a sense of distance, then you come in, you can see I step back half step. On a half step, he cannot get me, but at the same time, my leg can get him. So allow me to kick him. So the first step is set up, this is a sense of distance. Then after that, set up the angling. Okay, so that's why we're going to introduce only 3 strategic movements for this sense of distance and angling.
前后距感。
Okay, now move back.
侧距感。
Yeah, next one again, the sense of angling and sense of distance on the sideway. Okay, it's very important because if, for example, this is the enemy. This we call empty door. All the time you want to angle this one, but you don't want to far away, you don't want to get close. So in this case, you can execute your technique efficiently, effectively. That's because simply you can reach him and he cannot reach you. Because this is an empty door, there are many places for me to attack the face and the groin, especially. So because of the reason, then it becomes this kind of practice. In White Coin, we practice a lot for this one for short range. We try to touch each other's forehead. Because you cannot really punch, because sometimes really punch, you get trouble. You cannot poke the eyes either. So we touch here, especially when we train before, go back to 40 years ago when we train. There's no protections, especially everybody's so poor. There's no protection on the face, there's no protection on the body. So you have to watch carefully. So because of the reason, he tried to touch my forehead, I try to touch his forehead. So become this kind of training. He tried to touch me, boom, then I go in. So the same thing, when I try to touch him, he tried to open it, and try to change the angle to touch me. Yes, then right away, you can see. Yeah, so the distance too far is not good, but you should be able to, he come in, you should be able to get out and go in. Yeah, that right away, you can, yeah. So this is some kind of training, become basic drill for circling. Okay, now we're going to ask the student to demonstrate it by circling 2 first, and they see the other 2 and see how they can do it. Yeah, this you have to keep training until the eyes do not blink. Have that sense. If someone approach your face, you can block it, go to angle, and go in. Okay, thank you. Left hand repel, right hand touch the forehead.
"侧跳踢巨感。
That'll be the last one for this tape. What should I try to do is sense of angling and sense of distance. By this time, you are not trying to reach the range of using the hands. You should reach the range of it by using kicking the leg. Of course, it's dangerous. You try to kick the groin area. So usually before we practice, the hand always protect here. So you kick each other's leg. So in this case, you know, okay? For example, like this. So I will jump this side, I kick his groin. He'll jump this side, kick my groin. So same time, the hand, you protect yourself, okay? Then kick, yeah, this way, this way, then this way. So have to watch the distance. So in this case, you know how to protect yourself, okay? Now, let the student perform it. But all these are basic drill, basic training. Even they are basic, you can see a lot of students even practice with me for 10 years already. You can see a lot of things still need to be improved. The most important, this basic is a foundation. All this basic training is foundation for all martial arts. And you have to practice all the time. In China, people always ask, when you practice, how much time you spend in this kind of fundamental training? Tell the truth, you spend about half of the training. If you train 2 hours, probably 1 hour all in this basic training. It's almost like a piano, you play piano. Before you really touch the real music, a lot of basic drill, you have to keep practicing, practice. The more you practice this basic drill, the better you can perform. The same thing. The better for this basic training, the better the technique can execute effectively. Okay? So I urge those people who are interested in the training, keep practice for this basic.